Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking about the elaboration theory, which is an instructional theory that was introduced by Charles Regeluth in 1979. The theory views instruction as a chunking of information into different layers of instruction, where each subsequent layer elaborates the previous layer. The theory organizes instruction so that the simplest, broadest tasks are taught first, leading to a sequence of detailed, narrower tasks. Let's take a look at what the theory looks like in practice. One good example of the elaboration theory in use is Google Earth. In Google Earth, a learner is able to look at the big picture first, from where all the sections or parts of the picture can be seen. The learner then zooms in on the first task or the first section of the big picture and learns it until it is mastered. The learner summarizes the information learned and then retracts to the big picture to synthesize the new information. The learner then continues to zoom into the other sections of the overall task and completes all the sections in that layer before moving into further detail in the next layer. Regeluth called this technique spiral sequencing. Another great example of the elaboration theory in practice is a tool called Enlivening Genetics Education that teaches students about genetics through a series of web labs that are organized into layers from simple overviews to complex details. The learner begins by looking at the core idea, and here all the lessons in the unit can be seen. The learner begins working on the first task or the first section until it is mastered. This web-based learning tool provides many opportunities to summarize and synthesize the information learned. The learner then continues to work all the way through the detailed layers of the first task. Once the entire task is complete, the learner moves to the second section of the overall task. Regeluth called this technique topical sequencing. Here are some guidelines for using this theory. The first question is, when should this theory be used? The implementation of the theory is during the planning phase. This theory is meant to be implemented for large, complex units of study, such as entire courses. It is meant to be a way to structure large quantities of information into smaller, manageable chunks that are linked together. Here are a couple of things that you need to keep in mind when using this theory to plan your instruction. All instruction should begin with a simple overview of the content, followed by a more detailed view. The content should be organized using one of the three approaches given. Conceptual elaboration is the best for science lessons. Procedural elaboration is used when the concepts are sets of events or actions that lead towards an end. This structure would work well for experiments or math lessons. Theoretical elaboration is used when concepts have a cause and effect relationship. This would work very well for history lessons. Ensure the use of activators or minds-on activities in your units of study to engage the learners. Use analogies to relate the content to real-world examples. Summaries and synthesis should be encouraged at regular intervals to build a deeper understanding. A daily learning log or journal would be a useful tool to accomplish this purpose. Lastly, the learners should have complete control over the lessons they learn and the sequence in which they learn. Overall, the theory provides a lot of great tools to ensure that the learners are engaged in their learning and yield the maximum benefits from a unit of study. Take a look at the details in the resources given on the webpage below to learn a little more about the theory.